Good morning. Every 2 seconds, an aircraft powered by GE Aerospace technology takes off somewhere around the world. GE Aerospace powers 2 out of every 3 aircraft in the US military fleet, and we have been powering the aerospace industry for over 100 years, grounded in a culture of innovation. In 2024, we became a standalone, fit-for-purpose aerospace and defense company, which means our focus has never been sharper and our mission has never been more important. That mission: we invent the future of flight, we lift people up, and we bring them home safely. And for our defense business, that means the warfighter. A workhorse of our military fleet is the J-85 engine. That engine powers the T-38 aircraft that the US Air Force uses to train their next generation of pilots. This is an incredibly complex piece of hardware. It has over 6,000 individual piece parts that are managed across multiple different acquisition agencies. Keeping these engines available is critical to keeping planes in the air and pilots trained. This is a problem at the heart of US national security and readiness, and at GE Aerospace, we feel that accountability deeply. And so a few years ago, we decided to take a radical new approach to sustaining these engines, to combine the strength of our hardware with the power of software. So let's take you back in time, not just to 2024, when our journey with Pallantier began, but all the way back to the 1960s. The integration of hardware and software has been a slow burn for over 60 years. In 1965, the Gemini spacecraft had the first ever onboard computer in an aerospace application for their lunar mission. That advanced into the 1970s, where we had fly-by-wire capability, computer-mediated flight controls. In the 80s, that advanced to flight management systems. And in the 90s and 2000s, we saw sensor integration and predictive maintenance capabilities. And with AI, the pace of software colliding with hardware is accelerating faster than we have ever seen it before. And GE Aerospace is uniquely positioned to capitalize on that convergence. As I shared, we have a legacy of over a century of hardware dominance and the software maturity of a decade of production AI, powering the most advanced fleet management capability in the world on our commercial fleet. So when solving the J-85 problem, we knew we had the technical ability, but could we do it fast enough? Could we finally break through the structural barriers that have defined the defense industry for far too long? We needed a new approach, and so we partnered with Pallantier to rebuild the operating system. So the J-85 is where we began. We faced a 3x ramp in sustainment demand, getting more planes flying than we ever had before. And a single part of those 6,000 piece parts that make up that engine, a single bolt can prevent a repair from getting a plane or getting an engine back on a plane and getting more pilots trained. And so to break these constraints, we started to build an ontology. We pulled in structured data, unstructured data, bill of materials, schematics, supplier data, technician notes, all coalesced into a single object model. This was intended to surface those problem parts. Which parts are going to prevent a repair and getting more pilots trained? But it wasn't just the parts that were going to cause a problem today. We were identifying parts that could cause a problem 3, 6, 12 months down the road. And the thing that I love about the solution that we built is we weren't just providing visibility. This wasn't just a dashboard pointing people in the direction of the parts that were going to be constrained. Rather, it was recommending actions with the power of AI. Here is a problem, and here's how to solve it. So this quickly turned into a pilot with Pallantier, the Defense Logistics Agency, and the US Air Force, which is now under contract, focused on customer outcomes around fleet management and supply optimization, all built on that unified ontology. And for the first time, it wasn't taking months of back and forth painful communication to share information with our government customers. And operators finally had real visibility into exactly what was bottlenecking Air Force readiness and what actions they needed to take to improve that readiness posture. So this put capabilities into the hands of our customers, but we quickly realized the value of this disruptive approach to breaking through supply chain constraints. And it is no secret that the industrial supply chain has been incredibly constrained over the last several years. So we thought if we could have this much impact with our customers, Why would we not also apply this to our internal supply chain constraints? So we called Palantir, and in true Palantir fashion, they sent 6 FDEs the next week to Cincinnati to surge against this problem. We connected disparate systems, ERPs, planning systems, PLMs, supplier systems, to extend our ontology and encode the mechanics of our supply chain. What used to take multiple people, this is embarrassing to say, but I'm sure that we all relate to this, every Monday, 8 hours, their entire day was spent stitching together data into Excel spreadsheets to identify a handful of parts that then they had to go problem solve against. Those same leaders are now fed constraints directly in near real time, and their time is actually spent doing the things that they're good at, which is solving those problems, not just identifying them. And the impact was staggering. The combination of technology and the rigorous application of flight deck, which is GE Aerospace's proprietary lean operating model, we surfaced constraints, we solved those constraints, and in 2025, we output 26% more engines to our commercial and military customers than we did the year before. The same architecture that served the warfighter was also serving the rest of our business and all of GE Aerospace's customers. So in 2024, we laid the foundation with J85. We structured the complexity, we surfaced the right signals, we put recommendations in front of operators, empowering the best in our people with technology. In 2025, that focus evolved inward to expanding the ontology, and with it, our impact on our customers. The expertise of our employees is an unrivaled asset, and it is wasted on rote, repetitive tasks. And so we empowered our people to identify and solve the right problems, putting their expertise to maximal use. So in 2026, we are building a rich and powerful automation architecture with orchestration agents that are continuously monitoring and synthesizing signals, routing to functional expert agents across fulfillment, MRO, customer service, all compounding into multiple workflows across the value chain. AI isn't replacing our expertise, it's amplifying it. It's freeing our people from the manual work of data wrangling, unlocking new degrees of freedom for our business, and enabling compounding outcomes for our customers. J85 was the start, but our ontology scales across every program, every fleet, every platform. We are now scaling the product we built for J85 to new fleets across the world. And at GE Aerospace, we relentlessly pursue cutting-edge technology to advance our mission, inventing the future of flight, lifting people up, and bringing them home safely. GE Aerospace is a hardware company, but we are also a software company. And now we are an AI company, not just in ambition, but in practice today, powered by GE, accelerated by Palantir. Thank you.